What's up, everybody? It's DGFC Foamy. We're back with DGFC Danny Phantom and Papa Shadow, bringing you episode 3 of the podcast. Today we'll talk a little bit about in-game names, network providers, and 3D printing. Say hello, guys.
Hello, everybody.
So our first topic is in-game names. This was suggested by Robert. He was kind of curious. So, would you like to lead this topic, Robert?
Well, I'm always a little bit angry about choosing a name and you can't choose the name you want because that name is already taken.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like you go to sign up for a website and it says this name is already in use, and you're like, what? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or in-game names like this. There are more Roberts and Dannys walking this earth than just that single one. So why can't there be more
Yeah, I get it.
Shadows or more whatevers?
It can be possible though,
No,
Yeah, it
but
depends on the site.
it's not very convenient. Because if in our clan someone would like to troll and just
They
copy
could
a
call
name,
themselves Danny Phantom. Yeah.
yeah, and then he could like troll everybody and
Dude,
play
Ghost
very
actually
badly.
tried to do that to me once.
Really?
He tried to say he was you, and it was kind of funny. Because
Ah,
he's like, hey, Foamy, trying to do his best Daniel impression. For like 20
really?
seconds, I believed him, and then I looked and it was still his avatar.
no, but
Really? You never told me.
really, game designers can make something about that. Come on.
Yeah, and it is
Yeah,
quite easy to implement. However, then you have the problem you could have, like, Foamy killed Foamy. Like, wait, what?
yeah.
Did he commit
It is very
suicide?
easy. You can like create everybody with a distinct account and then add a name to the account. That's possible. Like
Yeah.
you have account called Daniel, and then
Like
your
yeah,
in-game
like the
name is
example,
Danny
like
Phantom,
yeah,
and then you have account Robert, and then you have a in-game name of Danny Phantom as well. That's possible.
Yeah, that
yeah.
or create an first name and a surname or how that is called.
Like you have your real name and then you have your screen name. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, or
with our
something like that.
website.
Yeah. Or like we do in TeamSpeak, everybody puts their nickname and then their first name.
So everyone knows the name you are talking to.
Yeah. Like for example, I always call you Robert. I don't always call you Papa Shadow.
No.
But
One thing I've always been curious about is like where people get their in-game names from.
yeah, I just wanted to ask Foamy, how did you find yours? Because it's pretty awkward one.
Mine was given to me. Hanging out with a bunch of friends, pretty much, and I was drinking a glass of Coke, but this glass had like a crack in it in a weird way, and I was holding it and I didn't see the crack, and I started pouring Coke in, and you know how always you've got all the foam that like builds up when you pour the glass too fast,
Yeah.
and my friend bumped into me and the glass smashed and all this foam was all over me, and that happened, and then afterwards everybody was choosing nicknames for each other, um, at flight school, and everybody gets their own call sign or nickname, and the same thing happened. I opened a bottle of Coke that my friend had shook up, and I got covered in foam, and that's actually where my nickname came from, Foamy.
I like it. A name in the story.
Yep.
All those flying names are cool.
Huh?
All those flying names. I know
No,
a few of them. They're cool.
We've got a guy called Teabag.
Oh,
Feedback.
that sucks.
Yeah, and it's hilarious because like we got all these weird names. Like there's a guy and he's got like German family. He's Kraut.
Yeah.
We just got all these stupid names. It's hilarious. But like mine are just Foamy. Like you see in movies, you've got people, like I don't know, what's like a cool name you see in movies? Like cool
Uh,
fighter pilot names.
I
it's
see
probably from the
Hammer.
Top Gun.
Huh?
The Top Gun movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Top Gun. Like you've got
I haven't seen that one in a long time.
neither have I.
In my study, you have to watch the movie at least once.
Really?
Yeah, just for fun.
Nice.
Uh,
What is it you're
Dude, what's
studying?
it?
Aerospace, right? Aerospace engineering?
aeronautical engineering. Yeah.
Same, yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, where did your nickname come from then, Danny?
Yeah. At first, I just had my first name and then my surname in game. Kinda.
Yep.
I was not very creative, but I wanted to get rid of it because people could find me on Facebook and stuff, and I didn't want to. So I just wanted to have something in my name, with my name including. My real name is Daniel, but it didn't sound very well, so I changed it into Danny. And Phantom just kind of, yeah,
So it's
felt
not
right.
based on the TV show.
It could be. I've seen it a few times, but yeah, I think it just sounds nice to me,
Yeah,
Danny
I get
Phantom. And I don't know. Anyway, I just opened Notepad and then I just made very much possibilities with Danny in it. I had like
And
Dan
then
the
you
Man.
chose.
Yeah, and then I chose one, which was working the best. I just really sat for an half an hour to find one.
And then
So
Robert, where did your nickname come from? Papa Shadow.
Well, easily it starts with shadow because I almost always works in shadows, always working behind the screens.
Yeah, you work behind the scene and everything. Nobody ever sees you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm most of the time I'm the
You're
guy
like that.
who.
Are you like that one guy that nobody really appreciates, but he really does a lot for you?
No, I'm more the guy who works behind the scene and make things happen,
Yeah,
make
yeah.
peace.
Like you make things happen that people don't really think about, but something they usually rely on.
Yeah, talking to people, make peace in real life or in game. It doesn't matter. So it's always always busy. Sometime behind the scene, I'm a supporter, so to speak. And after
Yeah,
that,
cool.
I get a daddy, so I changed it to Papa, the Papa Shadow. That's it.
Yeah. So you had your little midget, and then you decided to add Papa.
Yeah, because it fits.
Yep.
yeah,
And
and
then of
why?
course you got the 72 after. That's just
Yeah,
your birth date, I guess. Birth year.
That's
did
correct.
did you want everybody to know what your age is, or?
No, try to add Papa Shadow in. There is already one Papa Shadow, and
Yeah.
what the fuck? There are more Papas on this fucking earth.
But then I just did.
There's more than one father on this earth. Holy crap.
I also had Danny Phantom was already taken. But what I did, I changed the A from Danny in a 4, and the
Yep.
E in a 3, and the O in a 0, and the F is a, what is it?
Capital.
Capital letter. Capital
But
letter.
it looks weird, does it?
It looks cool in my
Then
opinion.
again, what about Muppet?
Yeah, Muppet also has, I think
He changes all
numbers.
his E's to 3s.
Yeah, numbers in a text can look cool in a name.
Leet looks cool.
I
Li-
personally, I found it a little bit
Hard to
Disturbing.
awkward. If you try to locate a member, you need the name, how it's spelled, and then type it, and
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, that's true. It's not convenient for the battle log
It gives me.
in
I
Battlefield.
always get one or it's two tries, and then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
That's
figured.
why I think it should be more of the same names be possible. And if you really want to know who that is, well, click on it and get some information about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We might tell it to DICE. They might implement it. It would be cool. Maybe Battlefield 4. Who knows?
And if not, it'll be in Battlefield 5 or whatever the hell they want to call it.
Yeah. And then we're going to play a war and we all have the same name. That's fun.
That would be confusing as hell.
Cool.
Yeah, everyone changed their nickname to DGFC War.
When we talking about confusing, when we were filming our promo video, we disabled the HUD, the head-up display or
I
whatever
saw
it
that.
is,
Yeah.
and it's very tough to
Work out
find.
who's your teammates and who isn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were like making a schedule for you stand there, but we didn't know who was who, so then we just said, Ghost, please jump a few times. Oh, there's Ghost. So names do a lot in game. That's what I know.
Yeah. Well, that's our topic of in-game names. You guys want to move on, or you guys got anything else to say?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
So
we
moving
should.
along. Next is, well, you can take this one, Daniel. Network providers.
Oh yeah, in Holland, a new provider is coming soon. Yeah, I think it's in June. Yes, and it's kind of a protesting provider. It's called Robin Mobile, and it's offering unlimited internet data, unlimited calling, and unlimited texting for a not yeah. It's kind of a low price, 40 euros, but you don't get a phone. But what the story is about this
So-
provider.
By you don't get a phone, you mean like it's SIM card only?
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's protesting. So the whole story behind it, Robert Mobile is convinced that providers in Holland and I think elsewhere too have too much power, and they can force customer to do certain things, like they can give you a data limit, and then when you go over it, speed goes slow or you pay a lot of money. So this provider, he offers like a good SIM only without too much hassle. Also, you don't have to have a contract for 2 years.
Is it like a monthly or a weekly or something like that? Then?
Yeah, I haven't seen it because it's not really up yet. I've seen it in the news. Yeah, every month. You can stop every month, it says. And I know about a provider in Holland. Somebody told me at school. His phone got broken and he sent it up. And he wanted a new phone. But to get a new phone, your phone must be broken 3 times in a month, I think. Then you get a new one. If 3 times the same thing happens, then you get a new one. But when you're turning your phone in, then it takes like 2 weeks to fix it. So that's impossible.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like, and Robin Mobile didn't like it as well. So they're trying to make a new provider, and I think it'll work good.
The one thing I hate, I've only ever found one provider in the UK that doesn't do this, but like, say they give you, I don't know, 500 meg internet, and you go over that 500 meg, all of a sudden it costs you an arm and a leg, for every meg you go over. That's what I've never liked, and there's like one provider in the UK that's doing this. I believe it's Tesco Mobile, which is like a cheapy, crappy kind of brand. And on their contracts, if you go over your internet, it just cuts your internet off, and it just stops, and it doesn't let you on internet unless you agree to pay more.
That's a lot better.
That's how it should be, Use what you need to, or use what you've gotten. If you need to go over, well, pay the price.
What I do on my phone is I have software on it. It breaks the internet by itself.
Yeah, so it cuts off the internet, like you tell it how much internet you've got, and then it cuts it.
I've got 500 as well. When it hits 480, just to be sure, it cuts it off.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, guys, listen to yourselves. This is ridiculous. Actually, I was thinking of that a long time ago. You all got the TV, right?
Yes.
Yep.
You pay monthly for TV, right?
Nope.
Yep.
Or in Holland we need to pay to watch TV for programs, and if you want another program, you buy more.
I know what you mean. It's just I don't really watch TV, so I didn't bother paying for it.
Well, okay. In Holland, most people got at least one TV, and
yeah, I have TVs, but that's like for watching movies and PlayStation. That's it.
No,
yeah.
Okay.
Other countries will be the same.
Option.
And other than that, it's just I watch the news, which is free here still. So.
Yeah. Okay, but in Holland we can watch everything.
Yeah, I know.
News, but you have to pay for that.
I know, it's the same everywhere else, dude.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, but I have to pay every month. If I got the TV on for 20 hours a day, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, so you're not necessarily liking on limits, yeah.
If I want to call 24 hours a day, they limit us. Yep. I need to pay monthly, and then I can only use it for a short time.
That's like with water companies. There's the ones where you pay for what you use, and then there's ones where you pay monthly and just use as much as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference.
It's similar there. Like you've got TV, which is where you have pay monthly and use whatever the hell you want, and then there's the ones that do by however much you use. It's like, well, what are you gonna go for? Pay monthly and use whatever the hell you want, right?
Yeah, you can find out what's cheaper.
Well, for the people who don't watch TV or don't call a lot, I think paying for what you use will be
you're
good.
talking. You're talking about this protest network, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
There was a similar one in the UK. I think I mentioned it to you before the podcast. It was literally free. Like literally, you got a SIM card for free, and that was also limitless. Actually, it did have limits on text messages, but calls you had unlimited amount of minutes. Text messages you could have, I think it was 5,000 in a month. So nobody ever really went over that limit.
Yeah.
Except 13-year-old girls, and unlimited internet. And it was like, that's a good concept because it's proving that this shit can be free.
Was it completely free? No charge?
No charge whatsoever, and it was aimed at young teenagers who use their phone a lot.
No
and
monthly charge?
No charge whatsoever, dude.
But that's not possible. They have costs. They have like their antennas. It costs money. They have like the network, the energy that they use.
Maybe they paid. I don't know, but the user did not have to pay a single penny.
That's a bit too much.
that
Yeah,
I
it's a
liked.
bit too much in my opinion.
Yeah, that's why they went bankrupt. A
Yeah,
year into operation, they just said, you know what, dude, we can't do this anymore.
yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
understandable.
I'm thinking something similar is going to happen with the other guys here, because.
I think not, because they ask a reasonable price. They can
But the
they
thing
can
is,
make a
that's a
profit.
reasonable price to them, but it's not. The amount of
Yeah,
data that is transferred through the cell network these days is also monitored, and each company who has their own antenna network and everything, it's alright. But if you don't have your own network of cell towers, well, then you're screwed because you have to rent them from another company. If you have to rent
yeah,
them from another company, you have to pay them for it.
that's
And
what
they
they do.
charge a ridiculous amount, though. That's the point.
I don't know. They could be. I don't know.
They do. I know that.
They use the KPN network in Holland. It's a big one.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, but like all providers like that, if someone wants to rent their towers, they'll pay you an arm. You'll have to, they'll charge you an arm and a leg for it. That's because they don't really like the idea of competition using their hardware, you know?
Yeah, understandable.
So that's kind of why companies like this tend to fail often. I'll be surprised if it makes it through 3 years of operation. I really will.
Well, in Holland we only have two networks, and we have like,
Only two?
yeah, I could be wrong, but I think two. I know two. We have KPN, and we have Telfort, I think.
You don't
Those
have
two.
like the T-Mobile, the Vodafone,
No,
Orange?
they rent it all.
Vodafone uses KPN.
Vodafone
Oh,
is
so they
KPN.
use you mean tower networks, not actual cell networks?
Yeah, the towers. I don't know much about it.
I see what you mean.
They use the network of KPN.
They use KPN's towers. I get it.
Yeah.
The biggest one is KPN, and he got almost everything. Well, no, he has everything.
Yeah, but I had Vodafone at first, SIM only, and it was not too bad. But then I wanted internet, like 500 megabytes or something, and I could add like a block. They call it a block. You can add it, but I had to pay an additional amount of. It was like
Oh, was it like
10.
modulars? Like it was modules,
Yeah,
like you could
yeah,
get a little upgrade package
yeah.
that allowed you internet.
I could
Yeah, I
could
get it.
buy. I could add my internet for an additional 10 or 12 euros. And now I have Simyo. It's a small company. It doesn't have any stores. It only is on the internet.
That's
It offered,
the network I'm on about. That protest network in the UK was exactly the same. It didn't have stores.
yeah,
It was only online. Yeah.
yeah, but it works good because it's like I can call a bit more. I can text a bit more, and I have 500 megabytes, and the total is 12 euros.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
That works out well.
yeah, I
That's
was
cheaper
glad.
than anything you can find on this crappy little island here.
Yeah,
Yeah. Here everything's always overpriced. It's really annoying.
yeah, it's the pounds.
Well, no, it's not necessarily the pounds. It's because it's an island. That's why
Ah,
everything's
yeah,
overpriced. Getting
ah,
ship,
true.
getting shit shipped here is just expensive because, of course, it has to be shipped here. Nothing produced in Europe is going to be cheap here because it has to get shipped all that way across the North Sea. Also, the networks, like internet networks and everything, within the UK, fast as hell. I want to try and access a server in the US, slow as hell. The networks that lead from the UK to the mainland, they're not the best. They're getting old and they're actually thinking of upgrading it. They're not even sure if they're going to do it. Like, well, you kind of do need to upgrade it to, better fiber. I'm just saying. Or at least lay more cables for more bandwidth, but. That's why everything's so expensive in the UK. It's just because the running costs of it all. It's like, you don't want to use too much bandwidth as a company because then you're stressing the networks too far, and you could have the possibility of the networks breaking down. You know.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to talk about the provider, or should we move on?
I'm pretty much done, and I'm looking at the time we have left. It's not that much. So we might
No,
as well move on.
we have all time in the world, but in about 10 minutes, if we're done, it's good.
Yep. So should we move on
Robert?
to 3D printing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna lead this one, Foamy, because you have one. Made one.
Well, yeah,
Kinda.
I built one out of parts. But yeah, like 3D printing is a new technology. Anyone familiar with CNC machining? It's a similar concept. However, instead of removing removing material, it adds material. So imagine if you take a small hot glue gun and you attach it to a CNC machine and you just push plastic through it, like the same kind of plastic you would use for injection molding. That's pretty much what a 3D printer is. The same kind of printing you would do on a piece of paper. It does similar on like a plate, and then it layers it up, layer by layer by layer. It gets higher and higher, so it builds layer on top of layer, and what you get, you can make like the most like elegant shapes and whatever. Like there's actually a YouTube video of a guy who prints out a Yoda like figure in 3D out of just this plastic, and it just looks amazing. And I mean, it's very simple. You've just got your machine, which moves along the X and Z axis, and it prints. And
Yeah.
then as it moves up Y, as it moves up the Y axis, it just does layer on top of layer, and it gets
Yeah, I
taller and
understand.
taller. You can literally see it like growing from the ground, almost like a skyscraper. That's
Is
pretty
it
much the concept behind 3D printing.
fast or is it kind of slow?
It depends on what kind of layering you're doing and the size of what you're printing and
Okay.
the shape of it. But if I wanted to print out, I don't know, imagine take the average computer mouse. If I wanted to print out a brand new shell for that, that would take me 15, 20 minutes, depending on
Cool.
the complexity of it.
Yeah, but you have to make the model first.
Yeah, making the model first.
That
That's
takes a lot of time.
not necessarily. Depends on the complexity of it. If you're just making a very simple shape, it's very quick.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean,
My mouse is kind of weird. I'm looking at it now. It will
mine's a
take a
very
lot of time.
simple shape. I've just got a Razer Abyssus, and it's just a very simple shape. It's the biggest mouse I could find, pretty much, and I've got giant hands.
Good to know.
That's a problem I run into with these little mouses. They're just so uncomfortable to use.
Okay.
But that's not the topic. So,
Nah.
but
What I
what was it
wanted
about
to
3D printing you wanted
Yeah,
to
what
talk
I
about
wanted
then,
to
Ingame?
add is there is like a big talking about now. America made a 3D weapon printing available. Someone made a model of a weapon which can be used. It was a company, I think. It made components which you can print and then add together, and then with a metal hammer, could add into it. Then you can make
Or
a weapon
firing
which,
pin, whatever you want to
yeah,
call
a
it.
fire ping. That's it. And then you can use it. But it's very dangerous because it may explode if you use it. After a few amounts of using, a few shooting, it
A
may
few
crack.
rounds, it might.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it may
there's a
crack
chance
the
of barrel
plastic.
rupture or a chamber rupture, even worse.
I think
After a
so.
few rounds. Yeah, I've read about this as well.
And
Yeah.
as well, it's very difficult to track, like in the metro systems and in the
Well, yeah,
aircraft.
it's all plastic.
Yeah, it's very hard to detect. And
So basically, you're making your own Glock because you've got
yeah,
the Glocks with the polymer frames that can't be picked up
yeah,
by. Yeah,
and it's very easy to make one
and it's
because
actually quite cheap if you think of it.
you even made your own printer.
Yeah,
So,
like I made my own printer. Like there's a
but
YouTube tutorial by
but
a gentleman by the
anyways,
name of Ben Heck. He shows how to make one of these printers, and I mean
I do
it's
not know
very easy.
I do not know how your printer looks, but I think I do not dare to print a weapon with it. By the looks of it, if I see
I would
what,
try it, but I would remote test it.
yeah. But I know we can buy one in the store for consumers.
What,
It's
a
a bit
printer?
yeah, a 3D printer in the, I don't know if you know it in the UK, Media Markt, Media
It's
Markets.
not in the UK, but I've
It's in Germany.
seen them when I was in Holland.
It's a very big store in Holland.
Yeah.
So like you buy a printer or you print and you print a weapon, or you do it at school, and that's what happened in Holland. The University of Amsterdam, they have a very nice 3D printer there.
Yep.
And what's a it's funny, a um teacher wanted to try. He wanted to try to print a weapon, but it was blocked. The printer was blocked, and the weapon was, it's all took away. Amsterdam didn't like it, and also the 3D weapon models were taken off the internet. But you probably know,
But
uh,
somebody's
once
probably got backups out there.
when something is on the internet once, it will be
Yeah.
there forever.
Exactly. It can never be
So
fully removed.
I haven't tried it, but I think you can pretty easily obtain it.
Yeah.
So that's what happened in Holland, and there's a lot of news about it. But it's everywhere in the world, you know. It might be the future.
It's
Weapons
like
with
3D printer
printing.
I built. I built that for about, I want to say, 12, 13 euros and just a few spare scraps of wood I had lying around. And it's like, it's so easy to do it now. Like, build things at home that are potentially dangerous or, illegal in this sense. Because I know, what are the laws on weapons in Holland like? Is it the same as in Belgium? You have to have
No,
like a weapons license and everything?
no, not
Or
after the shooting, the last shooting in, I don't know what the place is called again.
Hoffen aan de Rijn?
That's the one.
Very close to me.
Everything is, everyone
so
is
is it more like the
rescreened.
UK?
Now it's even harder to get a license to use it.
I know one thing, the 3D print weapon made by the company, it, what do you call it? Complies with all the weapon rules made by the American government or whatever. It complies with all the rules.
Weapon laws.
Yeah, the laws, indeed.
Oh, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, but not if you print it, probably.
Well, I doubt it because it complies with the weapon laws, but I know that for you know, it depends on which state you're in. Because some states you have to have a serial number stamped in and a manufacturer ID. So I guess in that way it doesn't comply because you have to have that stamped in to be able to track the weapon.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and also like one thing they've started doing is micro stamping on firing pins so that every time you fire a round, it indents like a serial number into the back of the shell.
Cool.
Yeah, and into the back of the bullet case, like into the primer, so you can see exactly which gun fired which round. And that, I think when that comes around by 2014, that'll be epic, if they can get it rolled out.
Yeah.
But really, I must have sleeping under some rocks the last few days.
You not heard about any of this?
You know
Nope.
what, Robert?
Not a word.
Do you have a smartphone?
No, I got a
there's your problem.
very cheap Nokia.
If you want. I'm not forcing you.
And only use it for emergency calls.
Robert,
I'm not
don't drop it.
forcing you, Robert, but you could buy a smartphone with an app called nu.nl. It's like a Dutch app and it tells all the news, and that's where I found it. I watch it when I'm in the train to school.
Yeah. Robert, just one tip of advice: do not drop that thing, okay? You will have a hole in your floor.
A few times.
You will
Yeah.
have a hole in your floor quicker than you will imagine. It's a Nokia, dude.
That's good.
Yeah. It is. It still works.
It works. Yeah, I used to have an old Nokia, and I like literally threw that thing across the room because I was really pissed off at it because it froze up. And instead of breaking it, it actually fixed the problem.
There's a very hard word for that. Fixing a problem when kicking it.
Yeah, that's like a Belgian Navy thing my dad told me from when he used to be deployed on ships. If something's broken, hit it as hard as you can, kick it as hard as you can. If it still doesn't work, it's definitely broken. And it's funny because it worked apparently. Like every time something would break, they would just hit it and it would work again, or they would kick it and it would work again. It was
Yeah,
like,
that's for very tough products. It can work. With delicate
Yeah.
products, it doesn't work. Like with a monitor, nah.
hit it as hard as you can and you'll punch your wall.
Yeah. But I also think it can be very dangerous in the future.
The weapons,
Printing
yeah.
3D
Like
weapons, yeah,
especially
because
with 3D printing coming out in metal. Like imagine building your own aluminium gun or
Yeah,
aluminum gun.
that's what I
wherever you
mean.
live.
And there will not be any statistics. Like you can build a whole weapon for army in your house and nobody knows.
Yeah, you can
How
build
can
like
it?
a military
They can
grade
only
weapon. It's like,
they can only
ooh.
track your internet downloads, but you can find something for it probably. Download it
Yeah,
somewhere
like
else.
Peer Guardian masks your IP and everything. It's
USB.
designed for illegal downloaders, but you know, software such as Peer Guardian, even virtual private networks and stuff, you could get into that and then mask
Yeah.
yourself.
I'm wondering how many weapons I can store in my cellar. Plastic shit.
Below my bed.
Your cellar, I know you'd have to move a few of those dead hookers out though, Robert.
Well, it could be a few crates.
Ah.
Who needs hookers? You can print something.
Yeah, a rubber rifle.
Dude, that's perfect. Somebody printing themselves a flashlight.
Yeah, let's ask Timo.
Yep, that's good. We'll build Timo a 3D printer and send some flashlight schematics to him.
Yeah, then he knows what it is.
Cool. Blame it on Timo today.
Actually, no, that's wrong, Robert.
Yeah, I know.
Always blame it on Joey.
Yeah, today it's Timo, but normally
Today's
I would
Timo?
agree.
Yeah, I'm thinking same thing, Daniel. About time to wrap up, right?
Yeah, I think we are about the time to wrap up.
Yeah, it's about half an hour almost here.
Yeah, it's not
I
like
mean,
it has to be in half an hour, but just
yeah,
a
no, it's
round
close
would be
to
good.
it. It's a goal.
We shouldn't talk too much bullshit, yeah?
All right, well, it's been fun. So we'll see you guys next week then with episode. No, not next week. New scheduling every other week. So we won't see you next week, but we will see the week after, and Daniel will be hosting that episode. So for now, goodbye from DGFC. Goodbye from Foamy, Daniel, and Robert.
Bye.
Bye.
Robert, jouw
Ja.
bye was niet overtuigend genoeg. Kan je nog één keer bye zeggen?
Bye. Later.
Are you gonna leave that in there? Yeah, right after
Nah.
right after
Nah.
credits. You should add credits.
Why?
Because it would be epic.
Okay, maybe I add credits this time.
Huh?
Maybe if I feel like I'll add credits. No problem.
Yeah, why not?
I'll just add this as well
That's
in
one
the
thing I've always
credits.
wanted is my credits in some kind of film, just for the
Yeah,
shits
and then you're just talking in the background. I can do it.
All right, do you
But
want to go stop recording?
Can I fit enough credits in there? That's a good question.